Good morning, traders, and welcome to today's market update. Today is July 23rd, 2020, and it's 9:46 a.m. in London, and we have about 15 minutes to take a look at the markets. Haven't they been amazing, especially if you're a trend follower like I am? The last couple of weeks, pretty much anything you touch, in my case, turn into a nice and healthy profit. And that's actually quite interesting. At least if you're trendful like I am, and that is that you will have periods of time where you just make a bulk of all the money you're going to be making during the year. And sometimes during these periods, that's when you can get some really good, almost silly returns actually. All the bad times were worth it. So that's where we are right now. And then if you've been trading gold, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, if you're new to this market presentation, my name is Alejandro Zambrano, and I'm the Global Chief Market Strategist with ATFX UK. And I'm also the editor and founder of investingcube.com. And I've been trading since 2006. And over the next 10-15 minutes, we're going to provide you guys with a quick market update. If you are watching this live, just put a little hello. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat box here on YouTube, and I will do my best to try to reply. As well, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Okay, let's begin. And we're going to begin with the stock markets, all right? And then we'll address gold. So this is the Dow Jones. And when we did the update on Monday, we talked about buying here. Well, what an entry. Exactly, spot on entry. Go back to the video from Monday. You remember we said look to buy here, stops here. We're now going upwards. We got our 1-to-1 as a minimum. And then of course I do analyze and trade the markets throughout the week. And I said to some people, some of my clients to buy here. And now the latest update is for people that are not involved. I think if we come down here to 26,801, I think people are going to be buying again. Now, everything is not really great, actually. You remember I talked about keeping an eye on more highly, how many people dying in the US and in the world because of COVID-19. The US has now properly started to see an uptrend in its numbers. You can see here how the daily deaths have now started to increase. So from before, we're having a downtrend. Now we're clearly having an uptrend. So things are fortunately pointing upwards. And at one point, this is probably going to come back and haunt the markets. But for now, they don't care. They're just buying. In the very short term, so what's the targets here? In the very short term, you have a head and shoulders, head, left, right shoulder, push to the upside. So you got 27,423. That's one target. And then we have this big head and shoulders, which I've been talking about for quite some time, which has a target of 28,000. If you take a look at the NASDAQ 100, you know, it's really loved. I say that with sarcasm. There's a lot of people that just want to short this one. They don't understand why it's going upwards. Yeah, maybe they're going to be right at one point, but again, it's a trending market, so we want to be buyers. And I mean, if you look at the results from Tesla, they were solid. And I think IBM, it was a few companies that reported, and they reported good results. And last very good idea was to buy here for this to go upwards, and then I'll be looking for this to pull back, but we haven't traded low enough to be buyers yet, and I wouldn't be buying here right now. Let it come down if possible. It's the same situation here with the German DAX. You remember we said buy here, take profits here. That was a perfect entry, perfect exit. We also said in the past buy here. In fact, I've been bullish on the German DAX for quite some time. And I continue to be bullish, but I don't want to be a buyer up here. Risk reward ratio doesn't favor me buying up here. I want to see a pullback. Let's talk a bit now about commodities. This is gold. So remember we said look to trade here for this to go upwards. I actually bought myself here for this move. And in the past, I traded gold as well. Now, I thought I was clever. I bought here and it went up. Now, what happened at that point that I was already long gold. I was long a stock market, and I was long the Norwegian kroner. Which acts like a stock market. So I had 3 positions, very good profits across everything. That's why I decided to close. Obviously, with the benefit of hindsight, I should have kept it. It's the same thing with silver, which recovered in the past. Silver just gone crazy. I would be making so much more money, but then it's difficult to predict when these crazy moves are going to happen. And when you try to look for these crazy moves that we're seeing now, you don't happen. This doesn't happen too often. When this slows down, because this year, 2020, has been a terrific year, probably next year is going to be boring. Maybe even the year after that's going to be boring as well. So it comes and goes. And obviously right now we are in a situation where the markets are just rallying like crazy. And, this is a time to make some serious bucks. That's what I think, at least. Obviously there's always risks involved. Like the average trader is trading against many of these moves. So not necessarily in gold, but definitely the NASDAQ 100. All right, so what's the plan for gold then? So I've been looking for a pullback, guys. I've been looking for a pullback for quite some time, and not for quite some time, but since yesterday. And then we had that push, and I was looking for this to come down, and it didn't come down. And so what's the game plan here then? And then we can work with this low here as a potential level of interest. You can look at the 5-minute as well. I'm not trading the 5-minute. I'm just sharing with this one because I know some of you guys like it. And the problem is that when the market just rallies and rallies like it's doing here, you don't have the opportunity really to get involved unless you trade on the very small short-term charts. So you have a cup and handle. This is the base of the cup. This is the handle. And we already reached target. When I did this earlier today, we were trading here somewhere. It might be you have a hard retest. So you come down and maybe one can look to get involved at 1876 with stops to like 1870. Maybe that's something one could do. It's not really my cup of tea, but yeah, the trend is bullish. So what is my cup of tea? Maybe at one point you're gonna get a real move, people get really scared and you see a bigger sell-off, and it will happen, just don't know when. Then you see that. All right, so this other stuff, I'm trading Brent crude oil. It was a long time I traded Brent crude oil, but I am, and this is why. So you had, this is the futures price, like rolling future. So you have a big ascending triangle here, and you have a bigger one even if you wanted to, but we'll focus on this one. So you can take the base, you can take the midsection. I'm going to take the midsection. If you take the base, you get a more aggressive target, but then less likely that you're going to hit it. So this one as well went upwards, came down to support, and I bought it here. And now I'm just enjoying the ride. And for this one now, what's the game plan going forward? Well, if we have a hard retest, so we come down to these levels, it might dip a little bit lower, but this is an area, general area where I would be interested if I wasn't long already. And then just being bullish above 43.41. And then again, we're looking to target these levels up here. So that's Brent crude. Let's focus a bit on currencies then. So last time we looked at currencies, if I remember correctly, we said look to buy down here. Let me double check the dates. No, yeah, that was actually a long time ago. Yeah, this was, I think, Monday last week. We had an amazing rally here in the Aussie dollar. You know, it's had a very nice run, and we are at elevated levels. It's a bit like gold, and I would look for a bit of a pullback. And right now, it can be stuck here. Obviously, if everything else goes upwards, you know, people might be looking to buy here as well. But yeah, GBP versus the USD. We said look to buy here for this to go up. That went well. Then I've been looking for a pullback. We didn't have enough pullback yesterday to reach my entry levels. We're pushing down. Fib from the low to the high gives you 126.68. That's the level I will be looking to get involved again. However, there are better options. But if we come down, I think people are going to be buying here, and then we go up. All right, I'll be bullish above 125.85. Dollar CAD as well. We talked about this one. Remember, I was bullish above, and we had that little move. But I also said if we take out this level, we're gonna go lower. Why? Because you have this big support level. Market slid, then it went up again, and then it went down. We're pretty much at the take profit of this pattern right now. If it swings up to 120, 134, 32, I think people are going to be selling in. And right now, just above a high, you don't want to be a seller. Of course, what you do with your money is up to you, but this is not a good spot to be a seller. We need to have that pullback. Dollar yen, I've been telling people to ignore it, and I'll continue to tell people to ignore it because it's not really going up. It's not really going up, is it, right? So there's not too much we can do here right now. I would just wait here for this market, all right? And then we have the EURUSD, which had a very nice rally and is actually higher than I thought it would be. In fact, we took out this level. We took out the 2020 high and we had a very nice swing. Right now, people are going a bit crazy, you know, silver and gold, keep an eye on that. That's sort of like the prime example and probably the best way as well of trading this. But yeah, we'll be bullish. Next major resistance level is 118. And I'm not the one to fight the trend, even if I don't agree with this from a macro fundamental point of view. But I do understand that some people are saying Europe opening, all good, economic growth, US probably shutting down restrictions because of COVID-19. Second wave over there is obviously substantial. But as I said in an interview on Le Fonti TV, I saw on my Twitter that I don't think this is going to be, it's not realistic that you're going to have a situation where if the US doesn't shut down, it's not going to have ramifications for the euro area. So that's why I am a bit, from a fundamental point of view, I think we're going to come back to support again at one point. Or back to the middle of the range. But for now, the trend is bullish. So there are different levels to watch. But if we're going to wait for that very strong pullback, we might never get that entry. So I'm working with 1490 for now. Okay, good. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap things up because it's almost 10 o'clock. Let me just see if you have anything. And I see as well who's here. Again, if you're watching this for the first time, do make sure you hit that bell button. Do make sure you subscribe. That's going to help you to keep up to date what I'm up to because you get a notification. I'm doing webinars on Mondays and Thursdays. We might add more soon, but for now, this is what we're doing. So we have Stefan and we have Karam Marat and we have Chris Fox. Good morning to all of you guys. Hope you guys doing good. And then I got a question here from Stefan. Can we take a look at Tesla? Sure, let's take a look at Tesla. Is it safe to short? Stefan is asking. So remember, if I remember correctly, the idea was to buy Tesla here for this to go upwards, right? So we're still in an uptrend here, Stefan. I know that you're not the only one that want to sell here. I know people that did sell, and you know they managed to get that right. And yeah, I think ultimately we'll have something. But for now, you have an interesting argument. One argument is this: we just had earnings report, and we had a push, but we haven't really had like much more than that. And it looks to me that we are in some sort of triangle. So maybe we'll trade sideways more, but this could be pushing things upwards and just triggering more to the upside. You have as well this level here. So if we take out this level here, I think we're going to continue to go upwards. And because we're in an uptrend, I wouldn't be selling here. So what would I do? Give this a few more days. Maybe it will mature into some better pattern we can trade. And if you're lucky, it'll be a bearish pattern. The alternative is to wait for a break to 1488, and that could be something. So typically, stock markets suffer in October and September, October. You tend to have a bigger slide then, and then November, December, January, February, March, you start to see that bullish move again. So we'll have a pullback, but I'm not sure when that's going to happen. Probably later. I have Latifa. Good morning to you. Chris Fox says, can we take a look at the S&P and the FTSE 100? Sure. So let's take a look at the S&P first. So this is the S&P 500. And remember this, guys. This is the big ascending triangle. We traded to the upside. I said target 3,339. That's looking good. And then what happened here a few days ago is that we had this little section here was a rectangle. So let me see. Yeah, there we go. So we have this, which was a rectangle, and that difference here gives you a target. And then you had that strong correction, and now we're going upwards again. So in general, this little space here, that is where I would be looking to get involved, and that is what I'm showing you here. So you have that, and as well you have a head and shoulders pattern, head, left, right shoulder. You see that if you look at the smaller time frames, and we're actually testing that now. So if you're looking at a 5-minute chart, we're actually coming back and want to test that. And if you're into this stuff, then this is actually the buy spot. One can be bullish above 32.66. It is, however, not my type of trading, so I would wait for that strong pullback and effectively be ready to give up any potential profit here. Because the way it works is that I look at all these different markets. So yesterday, it just happened to be that crude oil had a really strong pullback, and I traded that one. As well, I was looking at the EURUSD 50, and it had an attempt to break out 2 days ago, which was a failure, and then it had a very strong correction. And I picked that up really close to yesterday's low, and it just happened to be there, and I just grabbed it. That's the way I looked at it. So my general idea, by the way, is I go through all the different markets every day, and then from there, I just wait. I prepare all the charts like I'm doing here, and then I just wait for the price to reach my buy spots, and then I'll look at everything and say, okay, do I want to be a buyer here, yes or no? So then this is exactly what this is. FTSE 100, got a question about that. So FTSE 100, this one, I was bullish from here. So what I did here, said a few days ago, we said we have an ascending triangle. So the ascending triangle, let me see here, by the way. There we go. So you have an ascending triangle, goes like that. We haven't triggered that yet though. It's struggling, the FTSE 100. And then we had a small rectangle here, where I was saying we can probably, for this to go up. And this is would have been a good idea to get involved here and then have the breakout. But the market is struggling a bit. So what's my preference here? I would wait for that break. When that break happens, this could catch up. Now, if you're super bullish and you think this was just a false move, you could do as we just tried to do earlier, and that is to be bullish around these levels here. So you're looking at 6,238. It stops just below, and then if we just go up, you get a 1.86. But the idea would be maybe ride it to the June high. So that's a 5.4 risk-reward ratio, and if you want to ride all the way to the target, you're looking at 9 times almost. So the way I deal with these ones is that I just take a small position. So if I have, just to give you an idea, if my full risk is 1%, I would maybe allocate 1/4% to this. Sometimes just 20 basis points of a percent. So 20 basis points really, and then one could buy here, and then when we have the proper breakout, one could add more if you wanted to. Okay, good. It's 9:05, and then we're going to wrap things up. Yes, we're gonna do that. All right, guys. So I need you to help me here. So we have the like button and we have the subscription button. I know probably all of you guys are subscribing because otherwise you wouldn't be here, because I didn't announce that I was gonna go live. So I want to really thank you guys for your continued support, and for you guys coming here and watching this presentation when we do it. So don't forget to hit that like button, and if you are in any forums or on Twitter or anything like that, don't forget to share and mention this. It really helps a lot. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.